Hello and welcome to another edition of Health Matters. Because we here are so committed to bringing you quality programming under a variety of topics, I am so excited because we've got some great guests for you to talk to you, to get you information about a variety of different topics. So get your pens and your papers ready because we are excited about our guest today. Let me tell you first that my name, if you don't know already, is Anna Marie Sinatra, and my company is Sinatra Solutions, who is one of the sponsors of this program. And I am a business development coach, a life coach, an executive coach, a trainer, a motivational speaker, and I look forward to hearing from you for the possibility of partnering together to catapult you to the next level in whatever it is you're up to in your life. You know, I want to also thank some of our corporate sponsors, Western New York MRI. You know, they have the cutting edge machines that goes in and tells you what's going on in your body before you even know. So we want to always patronize our sponsors because they help to bring this programming to us. And also, I will never forget Melinda from Renaissance Salon, where she uses all Aveda products, all natural products, to bring out your natural beauty. That's what I'm always about. You know, I'm always talking about putting on makeup and deodorant and all the lotions that we put on our skin, how important it is to use natural products, because then we wonder why later in life we wind up with several different kinds of diseases. We know that the jury is back in on this. It all matters what we do. So I'm really excited today because my guest is a friend of mine, is a colleague of mine. He's an awesome man. He and his wife are great people, and I'm excited that they're here. They're also a partner in bringing this broadcast to us because they're affiliated with the International Coach Federation, the Buffalo Niagara chapter, who is sponsoring this telecast today as well. So I'm going to introduce to you Robert Strausburg, who is a certified Franklin Covey coach and consultant. He is a past employee and trainer of Proxair, and he is the co-founder and past president of the International Coach Federation, the Buffalo Niagara chapter. So welcome, Bob, and thank you for being here.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Anna Marie. It's a real pleasure to be with you again, and I've been looking forward to this for quite some time, and it's always great to be around you and enjoy your energy. I'm looking forward to a great discussion today.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, likewise. And I have to tell you, these little props that you brought along are very interesting. I can't wait to hear more about them. I'm sure we'll get into that. So help me help our audience learn more about coaching and what it's about and why it's so helpful to people in a variety of different ways. So let's start by talking about what exactly is a coach.
Well, a coach is anyone who can help someone be successful. Of course, in the sports arena, we have coaches who help people who are engaging in some athletic endeavor be successful, and that's what most people focus on when they think of a coach. But the truth is that there's a growing professional capacity for helping people be successful in any walk of life. And you know, we've talked about this between us at great length. And there are many different types of coaches as well, and there are also organizations that have been formed to help the coaching profession grow and develop and make itself known to the general population, because it's something that hasn't been around for a terribly long time, as many professions have been. So we're trying to elevate the awareness of the coaching profession as a group of people who are dedicated to helping people just be successful in any walk of life, whether it be business, personal, relationships, whatever it might be. There's a coach out there that can probably help you with any challenge or opportunity that you might have.
Isn't that exciting? It's when we think about it that in the sports arena there's been coaches all along. Nobody would try to get to a particular place, or could they, without their coach motivating, training, you know, specifically in this area that will help to maximize their performance. And that's exactly what coaching is. As Bob said, that coaches come in a variety from A to Z. You name it, there's a coach out there for it. And we learn that by being affiliated with our larger organization that we're going to tell you a little bit about too. Mm-hmm. I was blessed to be able to go to the International Coaching Federation Conference, where I found that to be true, that there are a variety of coaches. You think of it, and there's a coach for it.
And of course, we're involved with the local chapter of the International Coach Federation, as you said, and The parent organization is made up of almost 11,000 members that are located in 30 or almost 30 countries around the world, I believe now. And it's amazing the diversity that exists within that coaching community. So there are plenty of resources out there for people who are struggling with some life challenge. There are also plenty of resources out there for people who see an opportunity in their life or are trying to make some life change. There are all kinds of ways to find help, and that's one of the reasons why our chapter exists, of course, is to connect coaches in the Western New York coaching community with people who need help in some fashion, and we're happy to do that.
Well, you've talked about a lot of different areas and some places that I'd like to go and just unpack that a little bit more for our viewing audience today. And so let's talk about the International Coach Federation. I believe that we'll have the website up for you. Like I said, you want to have those pens and papers ready so you can get information. I know that the local chapter website is coachbuffalo.org.
Yes.
And then we also have a Yahoo group, which is maintained so that people can get email blasts of the different things that are going on. There's teleconferences, we do workshops, and just when you want to plug in, if you want to learn about what the coaching profession is, if you are thinking about becoming a coach, how you can get trained for becoming a coach. And then also what's really important, Bob, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit more specifically about what you do so I could learn about this little guy sitting here next to me, is that coaches, all coaches, I don't know any coach, and I know several from traveling all over the world, that all coaches have another profession that they're attached to, that they're coming from, and that sort of gives us that edge, that specialty, so to speak. And so why don't we talk a little bit about you, because I know how you started was that you were an employee of Proxair.
Correct.
And they sent you for the training, of which I was able to be blessed to take that as well as a gift from Bob. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, very good book by Franklin and Stephen Covey.
Stephen Covey,
Stephen Covey,
who is a vice chairman now of the Franklin Covey Company, who I have an affiliate relationship with and use their materials in some of the work that I do with my training clients. He wrote this, of course, the best-selling book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is actually the best-selling business and management book of all time. And I recommend that book highly to all my coaching clients because it talks about the basics of life, of being effective. And it's an excellent coaching platform because it talks about the breadth and depth of life. What are the principles that we need to found our life upon? And he uses a lot of metaphors in there, one of which is Aesop's fable of the goose and the golden egg, which is why I brought my little props here along, our goose and a golden egg.
And this golden egg isn't mine to keep, it's not real gold?
I'd love to bless you with it. It's unfortunately not real gold, but it is very valuable nonetheless as a teaching tool. Of course, Aesop's fable talks about the fact that there was a farmer who had a goose who was laying golden eggs. And in his greed to want to have all the golden eggs, he killed the goose and went in looking for the eggs and, of course, found none. And Stephen Covey uses that as a metaphor for what he calls effectiveness. It's the 7 habits of highly effective people. And the metaphor is that to really be able to be effective in life, you have to be able to find a balance between the eggs, which represent the results that we produce, which of course we're all focused on, doing it better, faster, cheaper, building the bigger house, getting the bigger bank account, having the more kids, whatever it might be. And we neglect the goose, which is the actual capability to produce the eggs. And of course we try to find a way to get balance between these two things. And as a coach, that's the way that I encourage the people that I coach, is to try to find that balance, to try to discover what's important to them and find a way to live their life out of that sense of priority based on importance.
And when you're saying that, when I'm thinking about how important it is to be in the present moment, like not never, but trying not to bring the past into the present and not living from the present into the future, which sounds like a little contradictory, but it's not. There's like these fine lines of, I think it's called Be Here Now. I think it was Eckhart Tolle who wrote about the power of now, being in the present moment, being present to what you're doing in every given moment, the magic that can occur, and being conscious, because as a coach, I know we've talked about this too, being conscious of your thoughts and your surroundings, and taking a breath and stepping back and just really being present in the moment. I don't know how much better to say that. There's power in that, folks. That's a little golden egg nugget that you want to write down, because these things are all very helpful. They sound simple, but they're very helpful.
Well, there's been a lot of attention paid to this thing that a group of folks called The Secret, which we also know as the law of attraction. And the truth is that in our present moment, we're creating our future reality by what we're focused on. And that's another way of kind of restating everything that we've been talking about.
And for you talk about the Covey, but I've been blessed to be with Deepak Chopra and Wayne Dyer, who are two of my mentors and teachers, and haven't talked with them in a while, but past friends, and all. So in other words, I guess I'm bringing that in too, is because the truth is there in all different avenues. It's a matter of, who hears what at what time, that you get those aha moments and begin to practice some of the reality of what can occur.
The truths of life are pretty much universal, regardless of who's saying what they are. They're all pretty much the same. When you boil down what all of these folks who are known as knowledge gurus say, it's basically the same thing. You focus on the basic principles of life, and that is how you build effectiveness over the long haul.
Intentional living.
And a coach can help you to do that.
Yes. Absolutely. So tell me about this little guy that we're looking at. When you first brought it in, I said, are you coming to put a curse on the show or a blessing on the show?
Well, I use this little statue as a prop in my training and coaching work. This is actually the head from a Brazilian war canoe, which, of course, the natives of earlier times in Brazil have used as a way to provide themselves with courage going into battle. They carve these things on the head of their canoe as they go off to war, believing that this will provide them with courage. And I use it in my training and coaching as a metaphor for having belief systems that allow us to live life in a powerful way. I say you need to find ways in your life to establish symbols that allow you to have courage, that allow you to live your life in a powerful way.
And how do you, when you're coaching someone, because there's another golden nugget too, your belief system, your belief structure. When we pay attention and we start noticing and we look inward, the self-examine life, then we start to notice some of these belief structures that we have in place that creates what I call this already always thinking, this automatic thinking that can run your life if you're not aware of it. And if you don't take the time to go inward to see where is this coming from and when did I make up my mind to think this way, and then reframe that thinking process. So if you could talk a little bit, that would be very helpful, I think, to our viewers to even grasp on a little bit more like how this could be helpful in their lives.
Well, beliefs drive our behavior, and we call those beliefs many different things. We call them values, we call them vision, we call them our paradigms, which is a word that Stephen Covey uses. And we talk a lot about, in coaching, about helping our clients to achieve paradigm shifts, which are when you notice that you're not producing a result that's especially powerful in your life, you have to go back and look at the underlying belief system, the underlying paradigms that are helping to drive the behavior that produces that result. Because all you're doing is being focused on behavior. You can maybe change behavior over the short term, but if you don't change the underlying belief system, you probably will not be able to achieve a long-term change in your behavior, and you'll get the same result over a longer period of time.
That's good.
So a coach, one of the coach's primary jobs is to help their client stand in front of the mirror and look at what is it that I believe and why is that driving me to do what I do that gets me the result that I get.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful. I wish you are taping this and you rewind it and listen to it again, because that is like the key to unlocking your past that you're bringing into your present that's creating your future.
Yep. And of course, those results have many consequences. And of course, we're talking about health matters, and it's amazing the stress that we build into our lives because we're not paying attention to the drivers that produce the results that we get and the stress that those results produce. I mean, we're in Western culture, we're always focused on this frantic pace of life, and we don't really sit down and figure out what our priorities are. And then all of a sudden we feel stressed and never go back to really understand the root cause of that. Standing in front of the mirror and looking at what is truly important to you and organizing your life around those basic basic sense of priority can be very powerful, and a coach can help you do that. So a coach indirectly, even if they're not focused on specific health and wellness issues, can help you to get better because you've got your life more organized and are living in a more powerful way.
Ah, that's so perfect. I'm smiling. I tell my clients when I'm coaching them on the phone, give them a little metaphor, a little picture. It's like, my tail is wagging. They're so happy when I hear you talking. It's reminding me of our past conversations and of being able to be in collaboration with you on different things. And it just gets so excited because one of the things in conjunction in what you're talking about is that we say, if this is what I tell my clients too, if we can tell you these things once and then it makes a huge difference that you could change your life and never, need to do anything again, that would be wonderful, but that's not the case. And the example I use is like when they're trying to sell a product on TV, you don't see one commercial one time. You see it played over and over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And that's what's so helpful with a coach, is that when you're intentional about affecting change in your life, in your profession, in your business, whatever it is that you're up to, when you're intentional and you use these tools, and I also use a metaphor, it's like going to a gym and practicing a new muscle. Mm-hmm. You keep coming back to the coaching table and saying, okay, well, where did we hit the mark? My logo, right? Where did we hit the mark? Where did we miss the mark? And then we can practice and build up that new muscle. So we build upon strength to strength.
Yep. It's interesting that you talk about that, because one of the other chief roles of a coach in a coaching client relationship is accountability, is being able to hold your coaching partner accountable for the results that they themselves declared they wanted to achieve, and also to the plan that you co-created to achieve those results. And I found that being able to stand in front of my coaching client and said, you said you were going to do this to get to this result. What happened along the way? Because sometimes they,
life happens.
Yeah, they get off track, and our job is to help them understand that they're off track and create a plan to get back on track, or decide that the results they were heading for are no longer important to them, which happens occasionally too.
Yes. And when you're speaking, I'm thinking about how many times I'm talking with someone and they say, well, that sounds like what I'm doing in my ministry, or as a consultant, or as a trainer. And so again, I want to reiterate that coaching is a fairly new, when did you say the ICF began? That was Thomas Leonard.
The parent organization began in 1995, I believe.
So in 1995.
With Thomas Leonard and a handful of dedicated people who began calling themselves coaches at that point in time.
Thank God for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you might be listening thinking, well, gee, this sounds similar to what I do. And being a new profession, too, a lot of people are hanging the shingle coach, so I want to talk to both sides of the fence who are listening. Mm-hmm. If you're thinking, because this is the whole purpose of this program, is to raise awareness around the coaching profession, to educate you on how to choose a good coach, and also to educate you and provide tools if you're interested in becoming a coach. So, again, you're going to see the websites at the bottom of the screen, and you can reach out to Bob, you can reach out to me, you could go to the Yahoo group, go to the website. There's so much out there. So if you're someone who's looking for a coach, the credentials vary. They vary from person to person. There's no set standard like the AMA or the Bar Association. There's standards that are set and they're achieved and reached for, but being that everybody's coaching under a specific niche, so to speak, you'll find a variety of credentials.
Yep.
So it's your job, if you're looking for a coach, to understand what a coach is and what a coach is not. Because a coach is not a therapist, is not a counselor, is not a psychoanalyst. A coach works with you, as we said, in the present moment, looking at your life, creating a game plan, holding you accountable, looking where you missed the mark, looking where you can hit the mark. And so it's your job to see what their credentials are, to get together with a coach and see if it's a fit. And then maybe, Bob, you can speak to some of the benefits of, tell a little bit more about the International Coach Federation, which is the largest parent organization that we're accountable to, that we're members of, and that Bob and I co-created our local chapter, the Buffalo Niagara chapter, and its benefits. So maybe you could speak a little bit about that for our viewers.
Well, we were blessed with the presence of a local community of coaches who was very interested in starting a local chapter of the ICF. we recognized that there was this group of folks who wanted to explore the possibility of coaching and establishing some presence in Western New York that mirrored the purpose of the larger organization, which is to promote the coaching profession, to provide standards and ethics for the way that coaches should behave, and we have been successful in doing that. The coaching profession continues to evolve, and having those standards set in place gives people some sort of criteria as to how to choose a coach, and it also gives resources. If you go to the parent organization website, which is, I believe, is www.coachfederation.org. There are all kinds of resources there for people seeking coaches, for people who are interested in becoming a coach, and for people who are already coaches and want to become a member or who are already members. And we're trying to provide those same resources locally, and also a local network of people for people who, as you said, are interested in coaching, or for people who want to find a coach. Because we have a knowledge of some people in the Western New York area who we might be able to connect with people who have a specific need or challenge in their life that we can perhaps help them with.
And so some of the benefits of being a member, because to be a member of the International Coach Federation, there is a yearly fee.
Yes.
And to be a member of the Buffalo Niagara chapter, the local chapter, there is not. So, and there's benefits to being a member of the local chapter as well. So can you break down just a little bit of what are the benefits of the International Coach Federation?
Well, the biggest benefit that I see is access to resources, because there is a wide variety of things that are furnished by the international parent organization that are designed to assist coaches in terms of training resources, defining standards of ethics, defining core values for coaches, defining basic competencies that allow someone who is considering coaching as a career to go and look at it and say, does this sound like me? Does it help to describe what I want to do professionally and how I want to help people? It also helps people who are interested in hiring a coach understand what is good coaching and what is bad coaching, and what should I be looking for as I'm seeking to hire a coach.
And then some of the concrete things too, or some of the manifesting things would be it's an organization that you could join, so then you can get your insurance reduced if you're an LLC or you want to take out liability insurance. You can get health insurance through the ICF. They offer, as a member, you're entitled to so many bridge lines, so that you can offer workshops over the internet, over the phone. I've done this myself, where I've had an international audience. People came to hear me talk from Australia, from Brazil, from India, from all over the place, because you have an international audience when you're attached to the International Coach Federation. And then also on the reverse of that too, I've been able to plug in and be on calls with famous authors who've spoken about their books and how that relates to coaching as well, and providing training, because I'm always about, we're never done training, we're always continuing our learning process. So that's some of the other benefits as well. And then on the local level, some of the benefits would be
a network of people to support you as you either seek to find a coach or are interested in exploring coaching as a profession. You can connect one-on-one or in group settings with people who have been at it a while. The ability to come and receive training, which we've done in a number of different formats, both live events and via teleseminars. We provide resources such as this program for coaches to be able to get out and put their name out in the community, and also promote our local chapter. I just like the sense of camaraderie too, of the folks that you connect with, and you get a sense that they really care about people, and that's what we like to see in all of our coaches. We like to see that desire to really want to help people succeed. That's why I went into the business 6 years ago, and that's everyone that we've come across in our time in the local chapter of the ICF has had that same philosophy around just wanting to be out there helping people be successful.
Isn't that awesome? That's so awesome. And one of the things I'm thinking about too is how we provided a platform for coaches, maybe new if they're coming in, or even the seasoned ones too, who came to our local meetings and provided free mini workshops to the community. That was a blessing, not only internally but to the community as well. And I think you mentioned our phone collaborations as well, providing information over the phone, and then the internet as well, and the website. So, and then we've had some get-togethers too. We've had some really big bangs out there. If you haven't heard about us yet, well, you're hearing us now. And another benefit too, as you said, we've the Buffalo Niagara chapter is sponsoring 3 programs. So you'll see us again next month. And our previous month we had Marjorie, who is the current president of the ICF, and as you know, Bob is the past president. I'm a past president, and the co-founders. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of opportunity here. So what else would you like to say? Like thinking about somebody who, let's think about our viewers right now, might be listening. We spoke to those who want to be coaches, who might need coaches. Think about somebody that was really powerful that you coached, who you really were able to help move past whatever. And maybe you could share just a little bit about that. Because when I say that, I always think about, I'll say this while you're thinking of someone to share, is my 86-year-old retired school principal. Mm-hmm. You know, this was a good example of my grandfather who says you're never done learning in life. He says if you think you've learned everything there is to learn, you might as well lay down and die. And he was reframing himself because he found some health source that, and I won't mention any specific modality, but something that was really helpful to him in his life. And he couldn't reach people. You know, he said, this has been so helpful to me, and I'm out there telling everybody about it, and they're not listening. Why? Well, when we started to talk and to coach about how he was approaching people, it became real evident as to why he wasn't igniting them and enrolling them. And so with just a few coaching calls, he was able to, you know, tap into that and help people. So as we're winding down in the last couple minutes, what can you say to help somebody who is listening today?
Well, I've had similar experiences with clients. It's tough to, you know, want to tell a story and still protect somebody's confidentiality, yes, because that's one of the tenets of coaching is we protect the confidentiality and the stories of the people that we help unless they give us permission to speak about them. And I don't have permission to speak about this particular person, but I helped a businesswoman who had been in business for a while, was working out of her home, and she desired to have a bigger business. She wanted to be more successful. We spent some time working together. We worked over the course of a year. She moved from a home-based business into a rented property inside another business, which was complementary to hers. We developed a marketing program for her, and she basically moved from being having a hobby business to having a very successful business.
Awesome. That is so awesome. Bob, our time has just flown by once again, but I just thank you so much for coming and sharing, because we're here to give you the power to make better choices in your life, to have the tools to make those choices, and I'm so glad that you tuned in today. So use the resources that we gave you today. Reach out and give Bob a call. You know, I always love to hear from you. You have our information. Now it's all up to you. Will you use it? So until next time, remember, your health matters.